you brought me to the Wilbur. That's fucking Broadway, but like the Wilbur is
threw you out in the Wilbur, high as fuck, balls of steel. You went out there, you barely fucking walked out there like the penguin, you know. I mean, and somewhere in a comic's mind, no matter what level, that takes a lot of people respect you. I remember one show I did. There was a certain open micer. I want you to think. No names. There was a certain open mic that bugged me. He came to the show in Vegas. I was going to put him up, and he told me he didn't want to go up anymore. Like he just saw it for what it was, and he was packing up and going home or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I felt about him after that. Now he's doing stand-up, I think, I hope. But at that time, you had the opportunity of a lifetime. Who cares if you're not ready? Who gives a fuck? That's a lesson for you. That's a lesson for you. You know, I mean, I wasn't fortunate enough for somebody to take me to an arena in the beginning or a theater. I didn't do a theater till I moved to LA, maybe, and I did some rooms with Paul Rodriguez up in North. And they were like, 1,000-seat theaters. I was getting $500. And I would do like 3 theaters in a weekend with him. And I always bombed in those days.
You didn't do well at theaters?
I remember the one weekend, we did a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. Friday, ate a bag of dicks. Saturday, ate a bag of dicks. But Sunday, I went out there and destroyed the room. Some guy fucking knocked on my door and wanted to do blow with me and gave me a rock to take to go. It was insane. It was insane. Like I bombed for 2 nights, but then the third night, it was like a fucking explosion. They went for the material and, things happen.
Do you remember, I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but like, did you do anything different? Like, do you remember changing up like your delivery or?
I remember just being fucking angry that you bombed 2 nights in a row in front of a good booker and in front of a fucking headliner. He didn't watch my shows. It didn't matter, but still, you're there. Somebody believed you enough to be there. Listen, at the time I was doing spots at the store. I was doing, spots at the Improv, at the Laugh Factory. And he called me one night and goes, "Do you want to go up there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'll never forget, like that Sunday, I just went off. I didn't care where the pieces fall. I was already 0-2. I might as well go down swinging. I wasn't going to get shot down in flames and go down 0-3 on a Sunday night in front of 1,000 people. So I caught the timing maybe. It could have been the timing of the theater. It could have been the lights. It could have been that I got a good night's sleep the night before. Could have been a lot of things. I think I wasn't prepared. That's number one. But it's so weird how I always think about this, and I want to cover this with you because you went from a huge market and you went backwards.
Yeah.
And some people would go, "Why don't you stay there or whatever?" But you saw how hard it was to get. I think you're getting more quality stage time here than you would over in LA right now. In LA, you'd still be going up in front of a lot of comics.
Yeah, I'm definitely quantity, open mic wise, LA would be, but the quality as far as like actually having audiences.
No.
And getting like, because I went honestly like 2 steps back because Boston has a great scene, but it's smaller than LA. And I spent like a year plus in Worcester. And it was, but I got better because people were really nice. And like, I started to open people and because do you remember being afraid of doing 20 minutes? 20 minutes was a hard one for me to get over.
I was afraid of doing 20 minutes of Sam Tripoli shows on Tuesday nights. You're in there in front of a full house. I'll never forget this. Like, I was dear friends with the guy who gave you the time and the light and stuff. And he would give me the light, dog. I'd just run the fuck out of there. Like, woof, 20 minutes, thank God. Yes, I have. I had a ton of anxiety about 20 minutes.
It's for some reason that one took me a while to like feel like I had enough material for. And like
20
just being
minutes.
up there.
Remember, you could do a quick 20 minutes or you could do a slow 20 minutes. It could be a 20 minutes that's revolved around patience and getting them into a groove, or you could just be so scared, like I was 90% of the time. And I would just go out there and rush it just to get it over with, just so I get that $100 bill to go home and snort coke. I mean, just to get that 100 to buy some beers and sit with some people, whatever the fuck it was. I always rushed through my sets, and I didn't become better till I slowed them down. And me slowing them down was my confidence building.
How do you slow an audience down?
That takes years. That takes years. Because no matter what I tell you, once you go to LA, once you're ready and you go to LA, you're going to bomb a lot in the beginning because you follow so many different styles. It's not like I'm following Lee and I get to adjust to Lee's energy by Friday, which is all I give a fuck about. I'm getting the big envelope. I need to be tip top by Friday and Saturday. So I'll take a beating from Lee on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll figure him out. And by Friday, I'll know how to slip in there. And going on stage at the Comedy Store, Improv, Laugh Factory, one night you follow Dane Cook. One night you follow some Indian kid. I'm saying Indian because they're a little slow paced. They don't know the language that well. So sometimes you got to follow that. Somebody who's Russian and they speak a little slower because they have an accent. Comedy's changing. Comedy's growing. It's not just for white people anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's worldwide now. So I remember still going, where the fuck did I go that I had to follow a really nice, when I did Dangerfields.
Right.
This kid was funny. He was an Indian guy. He was funny, but his gift was that he was slow paced and he kept his volume just a little lower because from watching him, I could see people leaning in to listen. And I'm like, wow,